What's going on, guys? Openhand here, back with another last Epoch video. I just recorded a whole video and then I realized I had my mic muted. So round two, here we go. Essentially, I just wanted to give a brief update on the build video that I had posted the other day. I had been farming Uber Aberoth and I finally was able to get a really good Shattered Worlds here with LP. So I was able to put a tier 7 Javelin on here, which gave me +4 to Javelin and some nice, increased throwing damage and stuff like that. And honestly, getting this relic just kind of put me down this rabbit hole where I was trying to min-max stuff and figure out, the best way to get as much damage as I can. Change some stuff in the passive tree. Obviously, gave me a lot more points, skill points to work with. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you my final results here, I guess, because I ended up getting a lot more damage than I thought I would. So it's pretty interesting in that regard. Firstly, here with the paladin or the javelin tree, sorry, paladin tree, the javelin tree here. I decided to go with holy spears, namely because keen outlook from a little bit of testing here seems to be bugged at the moment. Like I don't know if it has something to do with siege barrage or what, but it just doesn't seem to be working. I tested against Uber Aberoth, and I've tested against the dummy. Against the dummy, I mean, there's no change. Against Uber Aberoth, it's a little bit hard to test because he has that beam, but essentially I just came to the conclusion that this does jack shit at the moment. So I ended up going with Holy Spears with my extra points here. Took a couple points out of Beast Ender because I didn't need the crit chance anymore because I got a really good roll on the crit chance on Shattered Worlds here. So I took those points out, and essentially I was able to max that Holy Spears here. And, it being lightning damage and everything, I was like, it's probably not going to do much. It actually increased my damage by quite a bit, which was a bit surprising. So as I said, I started going down this rabbit hole a little bit, trying to figure out what would be best. And yeah, at the end of the day, I ended up changing a little bit of my gear, a little bit of the passive points on my tree. And yeah, I guess let me show you what I changed here on the passive tree here. So essentially, I was like, okay, we got a little bit of lightning damage now. And something to kind of note too here is that Forceful Hurl particularly, even though we don't have a lot of increase to lightning damage, we still get a ton of lightning pen from standing still, which I think is a lot of the reason that I do so much more damage with Holy Spears. I think I ended up netting about 75 or 80,000 increased damage on my my spear here from standing still once I had maxed that out, which was more than I thought it'd be. But I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. You know, obviously we get a little bit of that already from Conviction, some lightning pen here, some lightning damage. And I've always this has been an interesting node in general to me the whole time because of the more damage to electrified enemies at 5%. But obviously if I'm not doing any lightning damage, I'm like, it's not worth it. The lightning pen's useless. Lightning resistance is nice. But I just felt like it probably wasn't worth the, the points. And I was like, you got to find a way to electrify stuff. Dude, it's not worth it. But having played a like a hardcore lightning spear / smite character last season, I was like, there's a really easy way to electrify stuff through smite, and they have a piety node over here where it's 100% chance to electrify enemies that are hit by smite, and I completely forgot about this. And I had a bunch of nodes over here that were filled out, and these are relatively useless for the most part. So I was like, dang, I got all these extra points that I can use here, and put in piety to electrify the enemy and basically get that 5% increased damage. And then essentially I was like, okay, I got this lightning damage. What happens if I add, some kind of added lightning, or added javelin lightning throwing damage to my helmet? So I was able to actually get this today pretty quickly. I mean, I only farmed a few echoes today and this thing popped up. I couldn't believe it. But was able to steal 55% throwing crit chance, which basically still left me at 100% crit chance. And I got some added lightning throwing damage on here. Got some strength and some pretty good health rolls. Granted, it's tier 6, unfortunately, but still a good enough helmet. And I was honestly a little bit disappointed by the armor shred on this. It didn't do as much damage as I thought it was going to do, the increased armor shred effect. I can actually just go ahead and show you the difference here. So everything the same here. Actually, I guess I should show you numbers real quick, actually. So if I have... This is my old helmet that I was using, by the way. 685,000, not bad. But if I put this on here, it goes up to almost 750,000, so huge jump, right? And obviously this number is relative. you know, numbers here are going to look a little bit different on the dummy and everything, but I'll go ahead and show you, excuse me, the damage on my old helmet against the boss dummy here. I mean, it's pretty good, you know, 670,000-ish, 675,000-ish, something like that. But when I put this on here, it takes a pretty big jump. I mean, nothing insane. But you can see here, I get over 700,000. So, you know, again, trying to min-max and all this and all everything, I was like, damn, that's quite a bit more damage. So, yeah, that's kind of what I landed on. And I just kind of wanted to share this because I thought it was pretty interesting, just how much damage I was able to gain simply from getting those points and, you know, the relic and everything like that. The other thing to point out, I guess, too, is that since I have haste now on the relic, I get 10% additional block chance from this node over here. Instead of getting the increased movement speed, you get block chance if you're holding a two-handed weapon with this or something. So I was able to remove 3 points from honor as well in the skill tree and move them over to might. So, but yeah, I think that's about it. Make sure I talked about everything I wanted to. Talked about Smite. Did I talk about Smite? I think I was in the middle talking about Smite. Anyways, I moved it over here to electrify enemies, and I went down here too, because a lot of the issue that I saw with the PID node on the passive tree was that, you know, it's really only going to be beneficial against single targets, not going to be good for mobbing. But down here, unbalanced scale, basically when you hit an enemy with Smite, it'll shoot 3 bolts out and hit additional enemies. And I did check this on the dummies. It does electrify these bolts, by the way. So anything that gets hit by these bolts is also electrified, so you do more damage. So essentially this setup here with Smite is a little bit more optimal for damaging and mobbing. So yeah, I think that's everything. If I forgot something, which, you know, I probably did, I will pin another comment and talk about it there. But let me know your thoughts. Any suggestions or feedback or anything like that is obviously greatly appreciated. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.